intermediaries, or sponsors. Encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. It is Relationship Monday, and our topic for today is the pros and cons of dating someone with children. We are live on Intellectual Radio. We just heard from the Drive F5 with Roman. Keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and allow us to feed your brain. On the last episode of Warriors Talk, I discussed what you need to know before starting chemo. You can head on over to YouTube and type in Intellectual Radio and stay connected for any episodes you may have missed. The quote of the day is, if a man or a woman cannot accept your child, then he or she is not the right man or woman for you. Here is your trending topic for today. According to ABC 7 News, the third grade students at Roberta T. Smith Elementary School had only a few days until summer vacation and an hour until lunch, but there was no struggle to focus on them filing into the classroom. That is, they were ready for one of their favorite parts of the day. The children closed their eyes and traced their thumbs from their foreheads to their hearts as a pre recorded voice led them to an exercise called Shark Fin, part of the classroom regular meditation routine. Let the chime begin, the teacher said. Remember to breathe. Schools across the U.S. have been introducing yoga, meditation, and mindfulness exercises to help students manage stress and emotions. As the depths of students struggle with mental health becomes clearer after the aftermath of COVID-19 pandemic, the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention last year endorsed schools to use these practices. Research have found that school-based mindfulness programs can help, especially in low-income communities where students face high levels of stress and trauma. When you look at the numbers, unfortunately in Georgia, the number of children of color with suicidal thoughts are successfully quite high. When you look at the number of psychologists available for these students, the number is quite low for students of color. Black youth have the fastest growing suicide rate among any racial group, according to the Center for Disease Control statistics. Between 2007 and 2020, the suicide rate among Black children and teens ages 10 through 17 increased by 144%. It's a stigma with being to say that you're not okay or that you need help or having the ability to ask for help. And this is coming from Mrs. Griggs. She is the assistant principal at Roberta Smith Elementary School. And she says, with diverse school community and wanting to be more aware of their students, having different cultures and feeling how different other cultures react to things, it's important that they create an atmosphere that's all inclusive with everything that they do. That is your trending topic for today. My advice is check on a loved one, especially kids. When school is out, a lot of times they don't have their normal friend groups to talk to, and sometimes they feel lonely. A lot of times they feel like, nobody cares about them, and they may not always express it. But, it's up to the parents to kind of watch and offer help. And and encourage your children that if they're not able to come to you, then encourage them to talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. Because our children should have a safe space to where they could come and express how they feel. And unfortunately, they don't. A lot of them don't. All right, Rizal, on that note, If you are tuned in on any form of social media, like the show, share the show, invite someone else in on the show that you feel may benefit from this valuable information. And remember to follow Warriors Talk on all forms of social media at Warriors Talk One. Co-hosting with me today is none other than the cancer activist, motivational speaker, and the founder of the Gal Foundation, Rizal Gilmore, aka The Biz. Hey, Rizal.
Hey, Lady Rochelle. Another Monday.
Ooh, another Monday. Yes, this is going to be an
Wait,
interesting Monday. Yes.
hold on. Why do people of color, I'm going to say, we lead in everything negative? So you're telling
You
me
know,
that we are the number one suicidal race now?
I don't believe it. I don't believe that. I just don't. I think I
I mean,
think they try to make for some reason we the black race is the negative race, right? So it seems like with diseases, crime, and even with this suicide, and a lot of us, I don't believe it. I'm sorry, I don't. I believe
I,
they're putting
I
it on
just wonder,
us.
where do they get these numbers from? It's just like on Family Feud when they're asked the top 100. Who's the 100 people that they're asking? Because there's no way that we lead in all these different things. I mean, like every single cat that's negative, oh, it's the black race. It's the black race. It's the black race. Like we're just, I don't get it. Like, are we winning at anything?
No, of course not. Not according to
We're
their
winning at being
eyes.
the worst.
Exactly. Anything that's the worst and at the bottom, we're going to be there, which is really sad. Really sad.
It is.
I feel
It
like
is.
if we can't win for losing, no matter seems like no matter how hard we try to do things, or even how good and excellent we excel at certain things, they will always find something negative to say about what we're not doing.
I don't get it, but
No, that was a
that's
great
society.
question. That was a great question. I appreciate it.
Hmm.
I think it kind of may go along with the topic a little bit. The pros and
There's some
cons,
little
a little
things
bit.
here that can go in there, but ooh, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I feel it. I feel it in my bones and my toes.
The pros and cons of dating someone with children. So let's go ahead and do the video really quick so we can get this video out of the way.
Yes,
Deal with
put
no
that at the
kids,
top.
especially if you in like the 30-year-old range, 40-year-old range, you know what I'm saying? And then you got kids of your own or whatever the case. And let me tell you why it makes me laugh, because most of the time when I ask men what they're looking for in a woman, they be like somebody to cook, somebody to clean, somebody's gonna be a house, somebody's gonna be submissive, somebody's gonna be whatever. And every time I ask a man what they're looking for, every time that they give me their comparison, it sounds like they're looking for a mother to wife. It don't be sounding like they're looking for a partner or someone that's equally yoked or someone that wants to help them with their goals. They just want somebody to be sitting at the house waiting on them. And when they want to get that gog, they get that gog and go on about their business. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, from my experience as being self-developed and reading type books like Superior Man, Four Agreements, you know what I mean, the Bible, a lot of men aren't self-developed, and it's crazy how a lot of men are saying that they won't date a woman with kids, but at the end of the day, the way that you move outside, you are actually the child, sir. It's a whole lot of man child, and I know I'm not bashing. I'm just saying what it is. Like it's a whole lot of man children out here. Man child syndrome is real, and you know what I'm saying. They be really wanting a woman to just bow down and submit because they're the man. But bruh, the woman isn't supposed to submit first, the man is. You know what I mean? You submit to her and she reciprocates that submission. I don't know why men get this notion that a woman just supposed to submit because you make money or you got a beard or you got muscles, bro. Are you emotionally available? Can you even help this woman flow in her feminine? You know what I'm saying? Like we got to get out this mindset of a woman just supposed to bow down and lay down to us if we're not providing everything that we need to do in order for this woman to say, "Let me rest in my feminine." That's it. That's supposed.
Oh, he said a lot.
I don't know where you getting these videos. These jokers, I swear. Hey, Brenda.
Hey, Brenda. What's up, Lisa? Well, he said a lot, and I kind of agree with him about not being able to rest in our femininity because we have to operate masculinely, especially if you're single. You're operating as a man. I don't want to say the man and the woman, but you kind of like have the dual role in a way. So I kind of
Um,
agree in that sense.
there's a few things that I agree with him on. Um, age does play a big major factor when you are dating a woman with kids, because if you're dating a woman that's maybe late 30s, 40s, and 50s, more than likely she has kids. And a woman that's in her 40s, 50s, she has older kids, so they're probably out the house. But you're going to run into somebody who already has kids. Now, somebody who's like 20 something in their 20s, they probably haven't had kids and want to have kids, or they're in their 20s, they're about to have kids, whatever the case is. So that scenario, so now you got young kids in the house. So this age range definitely makes a difference to your tolerance of what you're going to do when it comes to dealing with a mama or whoever, or a papa and their children.
Yes, I think in my early 20s, I had my first child at 23. So before that, I wasn't even thinking about dating anyone. I would always say I wouldn't date anybody that had kids. If I didn't have kids, then I don't want to date anybody that have kids. That was just my thing. Like, nope. So I wouldn't be mad if someone says, nope, I don't want to date her because she has kids. Okay, that's great. I want somebody who wants to be here and who's going to be able to treat my kids great, and not have them suffer because this is the partner that I chose.
Now, Rochelle, now you are asking, well, not asking. A man really has to see me. A woman with more than three kids, there's a problem. And
What's the
to this
problem?
subject, I'm going to say first, look, there ain't no pros to dating a woman who has kids, and we're going to get
Wow.
through it as we go on through this hour.
Okay. I'm gonna let you take over the hour with that. There's no pros. This is Rizal's quote, not mine. There are no pros to dating a woman with kids. All right, I'm gonna let you break that down.
Well, I'm going to tell you first.
Okay.
There are certain things you have to deal with. You got to deal with the baby father, if there is, or the ex-husband, or whoever the case is. You have to deal with that, and depending on how many she is, it could be multiple baby fathers, or whoever. So you have to deal with that. Then if they're young, the mother wants, the person who she is dating to maybe to come in and be that father figure. So you really don't know these kids, but you ask them to do X, Y, and Z for these kids, and I'm not there yet. We just met. I'm just talking to you. So we need to pump the brakes on that. Third, every woman think that their kids is, oh, they don't do anything, they're smart, they're good kids. No, cut that right out right now. I hate the lies about they're good kids. No, these kids these days is off the MF and hook. Period. Fourth, you have to now not only court her, but you also have to court the kids as well. Then you have to be in fear if they're going to like you or not, because once they give the word, if they like you or not, mama has to take that into consideration. Well, why my kids don't like it, it must be something. So, boom, you may cut me off because the kids said so. So, right there, if you have a handful of things that's going on that are just about cons when it comes to dating a woman with kids. Now, I'm not to say that there isn't wrong with doing that, but it is tough these days with these kids and the mama, because she may want to leave you at home with the kids while she go out to the club and shake a fell tether. Whoa, 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 wait a minute. We're not doing that. That has happened. You want to go back out there dropping it like it's hot. So you go see old Roro. So there's so many things to this. And then, like I said, the age differences. If the kids are young or if they're old. Now, if they're older, more than likely they ain't in the house or they trying to get out the house. But then again, you do got some kids that's 30 something still hanging around their mama's house. Like, what are you doing there? Get out, go get your own. What are you doing? You ain't that little kid anymore. You just the bum hanging around the house now. So it is so many things. Hey, Tabitha, good to see her. Okay, you can jump in there anytime now.
That was a lot. Let me see. I agree with the age. I agree with the age as far as when you're dating. If you're younger, if you're a younger person, especially, I would say if you don't have any kids, then don't date anybody that has kids. If you're dating someone who, or talking to someone and considering dating someone who has younger kids, I would say don't do it, especially if they're under, maybe under,
12.
I would say maybe 10, because, well, I would say 10 because they're kind of self-sufficient in a way. I mean, you can't leave them at home by themselves, but you don't have to necessarily baby a 10-year-old. But when you have little ones that you have to take to daycare, they can't really do things on their own, and they're dependent on you, or they're dependent on the dad. You're dependent on the dad to help you do stuff. Then it could get really tricky, especially if you're not setting the right boundaries in place so that both of y'all can know that, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're only here for the kids, and that's why we even coexisting and co-parenting right now. As far as the man coming into the situation thinking that the woman wants him to be a dad, no, the person already has a dad. You're not here for the kids, you're here for me. So I would not introduce you to my kids. If I was thinking about having a relationship with you, I'm not going to introduce you to them. You're not going to meet them for a while unless I know that we're serious. It's not going to be, oh, I just met him and now I'm going to introduce him to my kids. No, because I have girls, number one, and I don't want to put them in a situation to where, I'm in the process of vetting this person. So I'm not even absolutely sure that I want to be with this person. So I'm trying to vet this person to see if this is what I want to do, what type of person they are. Are they going to be a good fit for me, to be in my life, and then to see how they are, their character, integrity, are they close with their family? What is their relationship like with that? Do they have kids of their own? Are they a deadbeat dad and they're not taking care of their kids? Are they making excuses that their ex-wife or their ex-girlfriend is doing this and doing that so they can't be a good father to their kids? Like, you take all of those things into consideration. But if we're just talking, I'm not looking for you to come in and do jack for the kids, right? They existed before you got here. They were taken care of. 9 times out of 10, a single mama is going to make it happen. And of course, I'm going to say my child is the best child in the world, because if I don't boost my children up, then who's going to do it? But from the age of, from the time they're born till they get about 5, they're developing their brains and who they want to be, and they're picking up a lot of stuff. So at that time, you got to put a lot of positive stuff into them, build their confidence. So if the parent don't do it, then who's going to do it? And that's it. That's it. So I feel like when it comes to the pros and cons of dating, the first thing is we know that the kids always come first. So no matter what's happening in the relationship, those kids are going to come first. So even if we plan something and something happens to the kid, then 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be like, I got to go. I got to go take care of this. I got to do this. So just keep in mind, if you are going to date somebody that has kids, those kids are going to come first in the relationship and not you.
It's funny. I mean, it's funny you say that, because I was watching this pastor the other day. I think he was on Instagram or something, and he said the reason why a lot of marriages fail is because of the kids, because we put the kids first. and not your spouse. You're supposed to put your spouse, your other half first, even before the kids. Because within that union that you two have, you putting the kid first, you are now disconnecting yourself from your spouse on how y'all got together. You're not doing the things that you used to do because it's the kids. You're not going out regularly like you used to do because it's the kids. It's the kids. Them kids, they grow up, they leave you, and then you're back home, and then now you're both two strangers sitting in the house trying to wonder what to do or who they are or where you're going because you don't know them anymore because it was always the kids, the kids, the kids. So you need to put yourself first, you and your couple first. Just like I told my kids, I said, you are of the marriage. You are not in the marriage. And you need to know the difference between the two. So whatever happens within the marriage was between you and your mom. Anything outside of that, dealing with you because you are of the marriage, that then will be between us. So yeah, that's what Pastor said.
Right.
Amen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I totally agree with that. But I'm talking about dating someone. I'm not putting you before my kids. If we're just dating, I'm not going to put you before the kids. My kids are going to come first and I'm going to take care of them because 9 times out of 10, they're probably not able to take care of themselves. I'm going to make sure they're cared for at first. And if you are a person that has any type of common sense, you're going to want me to do that. You're going to want to be with somebody who's not selfish. First of all, when it comes to dating someone with kids, you want someone who's going to be understanding to say, okay, I know she has these kids. I know they come first. If something was to go down with the kids, she's going to make sure the kids are taken care of. And what person doesn't want to be with someone who's going to take care of their kids? Now, if I'd be like, oh, them kids, okay, yeah, he has a fever, but we still can go out. I'll tend to him when I get home. Like, no, who wants to do that? Take care of your kids first. Now, if we married, that's totally different. Yes, this is you and I, and then those kids. It's God first, then it's the husband, the wife, y'all together, then the kids. You still should be dating each other while you're married anyway. You shouldn't allow the kids to get in the way. But we're just dating, boy, bye. No, no. If you're not vetted and we haven't made any plans to move forward in the future, I'm not about to be putting you first.
Well, how can a person move forward if you know you're not there because the kids, and that's a understand that's a good reason why everything is the kids, and especially like I said, if you have a couple of children, all three of them could be sick at the same time. And, I'm not getting the quality time in with you to show you that I could be this person, but I am checking on you. I'm checking on the kids because I'm trying to show you that I can be a good partner, and I'm being patient because I want you there in my life. But how long do we go on and do that? It's the kids. Like somewhere you need a break. Somebody need to come over, and say, hey girl, you need to go let your hair down a little bit. You've been up under these kids. The kids been up under you. It becomes too much. It has to be stressful. Just thinking about it is stressing me out.
I mean, as long as the kids are okay, moms are real creative. Single moms are real creative. Then carving out time for themselves, right? That's what you have the other parent for, right? If you have a good relationship, even if you don't have a good relationship with the other parent, that's where your time come in at. You get a parenting agreement to where they come get the kids certain days, you get the kids certain days, you hold them to that, and then you have your free time. No one person, unless they live in another state, no one person should get stuck with the kids 24/7.
Let's be honest, it happens because we do have a lot of, let's say not so good dads out there,
Deadbeat
not so
dads, just
good
call it
fathers
like it
out there.
is.
So it
Deadbeat
does it
dads.
does happen.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have a kid and he wants nothing to do with you or the kid, and then that person is now talking about the dad, and oh, that's just a sperm donor, and all these different things, and so on and so on, and you putting this bad taste now in the kid's mouth. So the kid really is looking at the dad. So even if he do come around, he don't want to be around. So it's just, again, it's just too much because you're training that kid, you're grooming that kid to be, these things, and whew, uh,
I don't talk bad about my kid's dad. I allow them to see, excuse me, the type of dad that he is or not is. They know if he's present or not. They know what he. My girls are old enough to know what the dad is doing or not doing for them. They're old enough. I don't have to say a word. Now, maybe when they were younger, they didn't know, but now that they're a little older, they know where things are coming from and not coming from. They know if the dad is making time to spend with them and cultivating a relationship with them. So mothers, you don't have to say a word. Just allow the lack of actions or actions on his part or her part to speak for themselves. Girl. Thank you, Brenda.
how you
Yeah.
know she was talking about you?
She was talking about me. She's looking out for me.
She might have been talking about me when
She
I
was
was
talking
saying
about
that.
me. Thank you, Brenda. She was talking about me.
Thank you, Brenda.
Mhm.
Lady
She-
Rochelle trying to take all the credit over here.
Thank you, Brenda. She know how passionate I get.
Uh,
She do. I think it's important to have that conversation up front. You can let them know why you getting to know each other. I don't know why this one keep coming. Excuse me. You can let them know why you're getting to know each other, that you have kids, right? As far as meeting the
right.
kids, that should not be, it should be down the line when you decide, okay, we're going to decide to take this to the next level. I want to be here, you know. And at that point, you start to make plans on, okay, how is this going to happen? Because there's a co-parenting situation. It may be a co-parenting situation. It may not be. It may just be like you said. It may be in a situation to where the dad is not there, and so you're having to do it by yourself. So they may not have to worry about the other person, and so you have to have a conversation with that person. Like, okay, how is this going to happen? I have these kids. You and I are trying to do this. What does that look like? Because the kids ain't going nowhere. They're not going anywhere. So what does this look like?
Right. I would definitely have to be in love with you deeply to take on you and take on the responsibility of kids because you're coming with baggage. And I, as a man, have to understand that once you are now under my roof, because we're moving forward, and I'm just putting this in a moving forward sense, that there are things now that I now have to do, because this discipline has to be talked about. Um, Schooling has to be talked about. How are you raising the kids? What have you taught the kids? Where can I come in to help add to this thing, being a bonus dad? Because being that you said they already have a father, being a bonus dad, how can I add to them? I'm already, saying, hey, y'all come over here because I love your mother that much. Now, if I love her, I have to love you. So come on, guys.
My thing is we get our things situated first. I would not suggest bringing the kids in at all until you decide that for sure that this is going to the next level. I would even say, and it may sound far fetched, but I would even say having a ring, getting a ring. I have these kids. I have these kids. We talk about these kids, but if, especially if they're younger too, I don't want to bring them into this situation. I
So you
don't.
saying don't meet the kids until you see a ring?
I'm saying put it off as long as you can. If you could wait till you get a ring, put it off as long as you can
Now
without involving them.
now these kids are very curious. They are very nosy. They listen to their friends and whoever else. So one, they want to see who you're talking to. You can show them a picture or whatever, but you could be on the phone. Oh, is that uh Roro that you talking to. Now they tease you like you spending all this time going out with Roro and blah blah, and you ain't spending no time with us because you go on with him because the kids is all that you know. So they're going to be up your behind like 24/7 all the time.
Lisa said that would pose a problem if you consider the children as baggage. I totally agree. I totally agree. That's why I didn't respond when he said it. I don't consider the kids to be baggage. They are, as people would say, they are blessings. They are a baggage to someone who doesn't really love you at that point. So they consider them as baggage. Rizal said it himself. If he loves you, then it's a different conversation that you're going to have about the children. So someone who doesn't love you is going to consider those children as baggage. Brenda,
Good cover up.
I'm sorry, huh? Brenda, what did you say? Did you say good cover up?
I said good cover.
Brenda said you have to bring the kids into the relationship so that they can know if he can deal with the little bad jokers. I wouldn't do it right away. I wouldn't do it right away. I would wait. I would wait until we get to know each other. We just even see if we like you and I, and we're seeing each other. Okay, now let's go. Because let me tell you what's happening. If we're just dating, know that I'm dating other people. If we're just dating and we haven't made a commitment, know that I'm dating other people. So therefore, I'm not going to be disclosing to my children every time I go on a date.
So if we are dating exclusive, it's just I'm dating you only, you dating me only. Are you still going to let the children wait until you see a ring? Because when we wait all this time and it gets to that point, oh, let's meet the kids, and the kids like, nah, I don't like him. Or I'm thinking like, I wish you would have showed me these kids earlier. I probably wouldn't be here because look at him. Look at he hanging from the chandelier. Oh no,
I said
I
push
can't
it
deal
off.
with that.
Push it off for as long as you can. Don't be so quick to introduce your kids to these men. Don't. Push it off. You don't have to push it off until you get a ring, but push it off for as long as you can until you know that you both have something serious. It's going somewhere. It's something serious going on. And this person has been consistent and their actions are lining up with their words. You have seen consistency with this person. And then when you feel like, because let me tell you something about kids, is if they know the mother is dating someone and they know, they see the attitude with the mom. When the mom is talking to you, they see the attitude. They see how you make the mom feel. That energy is going to transfer over to them kids. So 9 times out of 10, if they get a good feeling from their mom, they're not going to reject you unless you're some sort of pervert or something that gives them the creeps. Other than that, they're not going to reject you. They're going to feed off of their mother's energy.
I mean, I think every kid, every person wants to see their mother happy, of course, you know, but I don't know. Sometimes there's that little percentage in there. You know, I want to see every mother happy with kids, and no kid. Every mother should be happy.
I would say don't rush it. I mean, if you have kids, your first priority is your kids. Sometimes dating somebody is it's a distraction, right? Focus on your kids. Get them situated first, and then have a little time for yourself, but if sometimes we date these people and then they become our priority, and then the kids are lacking, the house is lacking, because we're so involved in this other person trying to get this other person. So sometimes you have to take a step back and just focus on the kids, especially if they're younger, and just focus on the kids, and then open yourself up for, a relationship or getting to know somebody.
And this is the kids that's, we say 10 and this was 10 and under.
If they're younger, I would say a lot of times you may not be in a position to to do it. Like mentally, you may not even have the space, the capacity to even entertain anybody else.
Because nowadays, I mean, teenagers, they're more than likely they're in their phone anyway. 13, they're in their phone. They just want to be in their room. They don't even care who you dating. Just as long as they got their electronics, they happy. Like, oh, you good? Even if you're trying to talk to them about the person, they're like, yeah,
Yeah. Lisa said, if there does not appear to be a future with the person you're dating, there's no reason to meet the children. I totally agree. I totally agree. I've dated some people that never saw my children. I even tell them I had kids.
Well, what was that conversation like with y'all getting to know each other? If you never even got to tell him that you had
If he
kids.
didn't ask and it didn't
Now I
come
know
up,
you. Now look, I ain't seen your cup. Now you don't look like you have
I have
5
5.
kids.
I have 5.
I know
If the
you don't
convers-
look like you got 5
if
kids.
the conversation doesn't come up, you have to ask the right question. Ask the right questions.
I think that's about my third question.
Ask the right question. I'm not. I'm gonna. The one thing that women do a lot is we talk too much when we're getting to know somebody. When we first getting to know somebody, we talk too much. So now, as I've gotten older, I have the tendency to kind of let's lay back and okay, you want to know something, you ask. I'm not about to give you my whole resume on the first date.
What's interesting, I think the woman that I come encounter with, because of the type of business I'm in, they bring their kids in there. So I don't say anything to them. I just watch how they are, how they be, over course of time. And, you definitely can tell. I mean, just from visiting me at my store, a lot of the kids go crazy. Like they're happy to be there because I'm a friendly person. I play with them and joke and they like that. And this is why they love coming, into my place of business to hang out. I even took on a role where certain mothers would drop their kids off and I would teach them about entrepreneurship, and they would come in and they would work for the day. One day I had 9 kids in there and they were all out there greeting people, saying hello. Would you like to come in and check out the store and this and that, which was absolutely great. So, that I am proud of myself about, so I'm not such of a bad
You
person.
was just doing it so you can get a good word in with the mamas. Don't try to fool
No,
them kids, Rizal. Don't do
no.
that.
Oh man, no.
I'm just kidding. Brenda said he can take you and the kids and you and the children on a date. You don't want to wait until you get to know him, and then the kids don't like him and he don't like the kids.
We said that.
Brenda, I've been in that situation to where the guy has taken me and my kids on a date. Like took them, let them get anything that they want. Just really, we had a great time. And they started to like this person. Then this person true colors just started showing. Now the kids was the first people to see it. I was the last person. They're like, Mom, you don't see this. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, do you not? And I'm like, what? I'm just clueless. And then eventually I had to take a step back and I'm like, you're right. And I hated at that point that I even brought my kids. They were younger. I hated I even brought them in the picture because now it's almost like we all breaking up with him. Now, if I wouldn't have just, if I'd just, okay, no, y'all can't go, no. But I let him talk me into, yeah, let the kids come. We can all go out. It doesn't make sense. You keep going out and they're not going. Like, I got to eventually get to know the kids. And I'm like, oh, okay. Mm-mm. And eventually the
See,
kids was just like, we don't want to go.
okay, so I was at a point where I felt as though that my enemies should be my kids' enemies.
Mm.
And there was a young lady that I was dating at the time. We stopped now. I met her daughter. She was cool. I didn't have that type of relationship with her daughter like that. But it was a hey, hi, and bye thing. We was cordial. It was, cool because she was older. Now my kid. I'm gonna say mad because the oldest one, she was older, so I ain't worried about her. But the youngest one, took her because she was like looking for that mother figure, especially after losing her mother. And I stopped dating the young lady, but yet she still wanted to have a relationship with her. And I'm like, nah, like this is nah, it's dead. I'm not seeing you. I don't want to see you any longer anymore. Why are you here? I didn't throw myself like, oh, me and your mom not dating, but what are you doing? Like, hey, call me, blah, blah. Nah, like, I think it should end once you finish.
Time to introduce these kids to these other people, because especially if y'all maybe moved in, y'all living together, and it's been some years, and they have formed a relationship with this person too. So now you want to drag them out of their life and be like, nope, you can't see them. Nope. It's like the other person, if it was genuine and they really cared about about the kids, that's a bad thing for everybody. So that's why I say take your time introducing, because it's not just the kids that affected. The other person could have really been had a honest, genuine relationship with the
So,
kids.
so keep in mind also, I was a single dad. So there was no dropping her off to her mother's house or anything like that. This person also lived like an hour away. So I couldn't leave her by herself and get back pretty fast. Like she had to come with me. Plus, not to mention, this was somebody that I was in school with since second grade. So you think that it's going to be wonderful that you know this person. So the getting to know, I knew this person was like my best friend. I already knew everything there was to them, about them, everything. But I guess this is why sometimes there's some relationships that you just don't cross the line. They're better off just being as is. And I just learned that just now. Okay.
Lisa said, I've gone on dates, but I didn't bring anybody home. Thank you, Lisa. You can go out on a date. They do not have to come to your house. Guess what? I'm driving my own car. I will meet you there. Most of the time, I don't even tell them where I live. I'll go to my mom's house and they'll pick me up from my mother's house. Like, no, in case you want to go cuckoo crazy on me, guess what? You're not going to do it at my house. It's some crazy people out here. Sometimes I've heard dating advice to where, like, if you just met a person, depending on where you meet them at, they'll say get to the place where you're dating, get there like a half an hour early and have your car already parked, you're already there. So they don't even know what type of car you're driving. Like it's
But then at the
crazy.
end of the night, what happens? Because he wants to be a gentleman and walk you to your car, and you're going to give me some excuse like, no, no, I'm okay.
I have
No,
valet
let a
parking.
man be a man. See, that's one of the reasons right there. You're
Mm-mm.
not going to let him walk him to because you don't want to know what
I
car
have
you
valet
driving.
parking, so thank you so much. The valet is going to bring my car around, but you have a good night.
But I want to make sure I see you get in your car and you pull off because in case there's some the next 48 hours, I was the last person that seen you. You drove off in the blue Benz. I seen her, and that's the last I saw of her. Anything after that, and then I'm going to text you or you call me that you got home, and boom, then that ends the day.
Now you stalking me. I gotta call you when I get bye. The date is over. Like, ain't okay.
It's too many things that can happen
It's just
all
true. That's
in
true.
between you leaving me and you getting home. So
I'm
it's
gonna
not no
see.
stalkering thing.
I'll see you
It's just
later.
making sure that you got to where you needed to get to
Um.
because I know you got to get home to them kids.
Okay, bye. I'm gonna see you later.
Because I know you told them kids that you going out with Roro and you don't come home. Oh, she with Roro and you wasn't with me. And now I got to talk to the
Okay.
police because they don't know they can't find you.
I came here by myself. I'm gonna leave, especially if we just met. I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna need bye. I'm gonna need you to go. I'm gonna get home safe. I'm not sharing my location with you. None of that.
Oh, I don't need
Brenda
that. I
say,
don't
"What's
do that.
wrong?"
You just had that shared
It's some
location
creepy
stuff.
people out
Now
here.
that's some stalkerish stuff right
It's some
there.
creepy people. I've heard this girl. She met somebody on the internet. They went on a date, and he ended up chopping her up and dropping off her body parts in different states. So I mean, everybody's not like that. But no, I have my own car. I came here by myself, and I'm gonna get home by myself. Thank you so much for dinner. Nine times out of 10, if that's probably our first date, I'm probably going to pay my half because I don't want you to feel obligated for anything. Yeah, it is
No,
okay to let him know you
no,
made it home.
because
True.
now you're gonna look at now, Rochelle. Now you know you. Stop it.
What?
Because if I don't pick up that bill, now I'm looked upon as probably a cheapskate or not a man that I couldn't even take care to half the bill. We going Dutch. No, we're not doing that because if I asked you out, then it's on me. If you ask me out, then it's on you. As we grow older into this relationship, then we fight between the two on who going to pay it because we just that deep.
I think that's a different type of man, whether whoever asks. It's just a different type of man. I, for some reason, this is just me, I don't attract men who expect me to pay. I don't. So I had one guy in my life that I paid for everything. Everything. Every time we went out, this boy had no money. Every time. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this. That's stressful for me to have to worry about that. The guys, even if I tried to pay, they would be like, no, no, your money is no good. I got this. I got this. And I'm like, you sure? I want to, let me do this. And they have it. So, and like if it's their birthday or something, yeah, okay, they'll be like, okay, go. I'll go and pay it in advance so they can't say, oh, don't worry about it. I'm going to the bathroom and I'll be right back. And we out and then I'll go pay for it. So it will be already paid. And then they'll still be like, why, you don't have to do that. I got it. For some reason, I just don't. And I think because I had that bad experience with that one person that,
Well, don't let one apple spoil the bunch.
and he didn't, because now I do not attract those people that if I go out, they don't be looking at me to pay. And not that I can't pay and not that I don't offer to pay, but they are like, no. No.
Well,
The law of attraction. The
so
pros and
what haven't we covered? Have we got
cons.
we didn't neither one of us had no list tonight. So
I did
this
have a
is
list. I did my list. We just didn't go off the list, but I did have a list. My first one was we talked about the kids always come first. The second one was the time would be limited because the person is spending time with the kids. There's no, you won't be able to be spontaneous because, in case something happened, the dynamics of the relationship is going to be complicated because they're co-parenting with somebody else. Their finances may be limited because the money may be going towards the kids, and you may have the emotional challenges. We talked about the kids may not like you. You have to be flexible because that person, they schedule may be tight because they may be taking the kids to games or performances. And you may have, you have to have a relationship. I don't want to, well, you should be cordial with the other person. I think if y'all married, you should try, especially if they didn't end toxic, to try to have, is there such a thing, not to end toxic? Try to have a relationship to where it could be kind of blended, but without crossing the line or boundaries being broken.
what's funny, and I'm sitting here listening to, everything what you say. Um, it's the pros and cons of dating a woman with a child. I think we said more cons than anything that I think I do want to give a pro, for a change. I think dating a woman with kids is going to teach you a couple things, especially patience. Um, it's probably going to make you a better person, especially if you don't have any kids of your own, because dealing with, the mama, dealing with the kids, that's going to take a lot because you got personalities. So trying to know this person, know that person, it's like, boom, I know there's a lot of things to remember, when it comes to that. So there's a few pros.
There's a lot of pros. So, to dating someone that has kids, it just has to be someone that you
Hitting
want
within
to
the
date.
next 7 minutes.
Someone that you want to date, right? You have to make sure you get to know that person. Take your time, do it slow because the children are involved. You don't want to rush it. So, okay, Rizal, what are the words of wisdom? Or was that your words of wisdom?
No. My
Okay.
words of wisdom today is don't step down because the other person wouldn't step up when it comes to dating with kids.
All right. You guys, please don't go. Don't please don't go anywhere, you guys. Coming up next is Pillow Talk with God right here on Intellectual Radio. As always, well, my words of wisdom would be to just tread lightly. If you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, just go slow. Make sure you really get to know that person before you bring the children in on the relationship. And just remember, people like to say, "Oh, they dating you and the kids." No, you're not. You're dating me. You're not dating my kids. You may get to know my kids, but you're not dating my kids. All right, you guys. I'll be here next Monday right here on Intellectual Radio at 6 p.m. As always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell. Co-hosting with me today is Rizal Gilmore, aka The Biz. Warriors Talk is changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on IntellectualRadio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.